Hello there. Welcome to the Data Governance and Privacy Solutions webinar on extracting the profile and domain discovery results from IDQ to EDC. I am Vrinda and I'll be hosting today's webinar. The presenter for today's session is Sachin Jain, an Informatica veteran from the Customer Success Technologies team, handling enterprise data governance, enterprise data catalog, Axon, and data quality products with more than 12 years of experience. Before we start off, here are some housekeeping tips. Today's webinar is for 1 hour that includes the Q&A session. All dial-in participants will be muted to enable the speakers to present without any kind of interruptions. Your questions can be submitted through the Q&A section and we'll be addressing them to the end of the presentation. The webinars will be recorded and will be available in the Informatica Support YouTube channel and the Success Portal. The link will be emailed to you as well. Please set aside some time to complete the post-webinar survey and provide your feedback and suggestions for upcoming topics for our webinars. The Data Governance and Privacy Solutions webinars are part of the Success Portal. The Informatica Success Portal is a microlearning platform that offers free and unlimited learning to all registered users. The Success Portal lists your success offerings, your customer success manager information, bookings available in the Ask an Expert session, and customized recommendation and content. Over to you, Sachin. Thank you.
So am I audible?
Yes, Sachin, you are.
Thank you. And thanks, Runda. Thanks for the introduction. So I would like to thanks who are all attending today's sessions, right? So taking your own time and then attending this session. So this session will help you guys in the organization, right, who are in the data governance journey. Either that could be in the beginning of the journey or could be in somewhere middle. They have already in the process of data governance journey, right? So it would help definitely to provide the profile results which are there in IDQ, right? So why this DQ scanner, or what is this actually extracting the profile, data domain discovery, scorecards, or the rules which are associated to the profiles, right, from IDQ to the EDC, right? So before we start, I would like to give some sort of example that consider, suppose an organization has around, say, 10,000 tables, which is spread across different schemas and a different data warehouse, right? So over the period, it was, the profile was run and they have seen the statistics of it, and then they have seen the domain discovery kind of thing, the scorecards, which was very useful for the business side, right? So they have done all these things over the period. So now they have to move to enterprise data catalog, right, which provides more features and capability of having a data governance journey with these tools, right? So with this, so whatever the 1,000 or the more than 1,000 tables which is scanned, for the profile results and all, right? So they have to again they have to do it in EDC. So that's where this DQ scanner comes into picture. So no need to scan in EDC, so that whatever the profile warehouse was there, right? So you just have it in EDC and then scan that, so that the different connections or the schemas or the databases, right? So say that could be Oracle or a DB2 or the SQL Server profile results, which were there in analyst tools, or the IDQ, which was seen by the users, right? So they can just run this DQ scanner, so that the same profile results gets associated to the schemas or the tables which are there in enterprise data catalog, so that a lot of time can be utilized for the different way to do of the data governance journey, right? So a lot of time can be utilized for that. So going forward, so I would like to put some sort of agenda of today's sessions, right? So this is how data quality scanner works, what are the prerequisites required, and what is that resource task flow it is, and what are the advantages of it, and finally I'll just show you a simple demo of it. Yeah. The first would be, so how a data quality scanner works. What is actually the process which is involved here? So as I've given, right? So um, usually the in an organization, right? So to see what statistics or what is the profile results of it, right? Considered to be in any source, right? So usually users run the profile, and then that could be in developer or in the analyst tool, that gets stored in the profile warehouse in IDQ, right? So that profile warehouse will the same profile warehouse will get created as a DQ scanner resource in EDC. That user will create that by providing all the details, which I'll show in the demo part. So in catalog administrator, he will configure by providing all the details of the the profile warehouse, and then he will say scan it actually, right? So once the scans started, the Informatica data quality scanner extracts and migrates this profile results which were there in IDQ and gets associated to the schemas which are selected during the scanning time, right? Gets associated to the which are the tables in the EDC actually. So that's how that could be n number of tables or the schemas, right? So seamless extraction from the profile warehouse and gets associated to the EDC schemas. So what it does is finally is it migrates the profile results. What are those? That includes column profile results, data domain discovery results, the rules which are used in profiling, right? And then the scorecards and the value frequencies. So this is what the flow is and the process which has to be followed to use the data quality scanner in enterprise data catalog. I would like to give some sort of prerequisites. What are prerequisites required for just get the profile results from IDQ to the EDC tables, right? So the first one would be the user must run the respective resource in catalog administrator. This is very much required to extract metadata from a resource. Say that could be an Oracle resource, right? So initially it has to be extracted. Only the metadata scanner has to be run, not the profile data, the data domain discovery or the value frequencies or any of the thing is not required. Only the metadata extraction has to be there in the catalog, because that is where it recognizes the schema level, and then based on the metadata, it gets associated all the profile results to that, right? The second one would be, suppose if the domains, EDC domain is separate and then IDQ's domain is separate, right? So that the data domains in the IDQ, when they profiled it, right? So that has to be exported and then imported into the enterprise data catalog domain. This is only applicable for the organization having a separate domain of IDQ, and then enterprise data catalog domains, right? Otherwise, if both are in a single domain, then no need to worry about that, because these data domains will sit in a single domain itself, right? So these are all the prerequisites which are very much required before you extract all the details from the DQ scanner or the profile warehouse. So here, I'll tell you how it works actually. So how the tasks, resource tasks flow is actually, right? So this is how it starts. When you say profile warehouse is configured, and then when you say scan it, so it verifies the catalog, right? The source metadata for the resource is exists or not. See, that's what the prerequisites which I mentioned, that source metadata has to be exist in enterprise data catalog, only the extraction of metadata, right? Then if the source metadata is not there, then it is not going to do anything. If it exists, then it matches, right, the profile results and the curation decision. So if it is already ranked profile and curated, so that is one more check it is going to verify. If curation is not done, then the scanner migrates all the results to the catalog, and it associates to particular schemas or the tables which are given in during the type of scanners actually, right? So if that exists, so this is very much required. So this, if it exists, if the curation is done, then it compares the timestamp actually. So between the profile warehouse and the catalog, Okay, so this time span, whether it is greater than or like when it was done, whether it was done it before in catalog or it was done in profile warehouse, it compares the time span. Then it moves forward saying that if it is profile warehouse is done very catalog is done before the profile warehouse, right? So then it says like it's and then uh, if it is greater than profile warehouse, the timestamp of the profile warehouse is greater than the catalog timestamp, the curation decision which was done in the catalog. If it is less than the profile warehouse, right, then it says profile warehouse scanner migrates and overrides all the curation which was done in catalog, and then say it ends actually. So this is how the process of the DQ scanner task flow. Basically, it compares based on the timestamp. With this, I would like to give some sort of curation results example, based on the timestamp, how it works, right? Consider, suppose you have rejected SSN data domain in a column in an employee table in the catalog. This is in enterprise data catalog, okay? Suppose you have rejected the domain. Now in the analyst, so after some time, once you rejected in EDC, after some time, so probably you have accepted the same SSN data domain for the same column in the analyst or in the dev, right? So this is the next process. After some time you have done in analyst. So after that, when you run a DQ scanner, so the result would be in EDC. What it does is based on the timestamp, right? So it compares. Now the analyst takes the higher priority. So the data domain SSN displays as an accepted based on the conformance, right? Conformance score. So it accepts it shows as an accept in the catalog actually. So this is one of the example on the curation results based on the timestamp. The other one which I would like to give, what will happen if the info results are there. So it merges actually. So this is what the example which I would like to give. In EDC, suppose you have accepted the data domains, address as well as the city in a say example employee table. Okay, this is an enterprise data catalog. And in the analyst, suppose you accepted say other domains, say SSN and then age in the same employee table. So now when you run the DQ scanner, right, in the EDC, this will show as an inferred results and it accumulates everything, say address, city, SSN, as well as age, and it shows as an inferred data domains for that employee table in the enterprise data catalog. Okay, these are the two different examples which I thought of this is very much useful. So for the DQ scanner, extracting the profile results. The next would be the advantages. So what would be the benefits when you're running a data quality scanner in enterprise data catalog, right? This is the core scanner, which is available in EDC. So first would be, when you have a multiple resource profile results, which are available in IDQ, so that you can run only one DQ scanner so that it gets associated to the schemas or the tables which are selected during the scanning time, right? So another one is only the metadata scan is enough. So yeah, so as I mentioned, only the metadata extraction has to happen before we start like DQ scanner, so that a lot of time can reduced in during the scanning itself. The third one is like the same thing, a lot of time can be saved because we are going to scan the results only once. Yeah, for the multiple schemas or the tables, right? So you are going to run only one scanner, that is DQ scanner, so that no need to run any of the resources, one by one or by periodic scheduling or a queuing kind of thing, right? So just run only the DQ scanner enough so that it gets all the results to that actually. Then the other last one which I would like to highlight here is a user can see the relationship between, say, in EDC itself, he can see what is the table, okay, what are the rules associated to that, to profile, data domain discovery, scorecards, everything he can see it in a single page. This one I am going to show it in a demo, right? So I'd like to take you guys to the demo part. So I will be logging into the LDM admin, that is administrator. So resources, This is the one which I created, DQ scanner. So I'll just say edit. Okay, so just wanted to brief you all these things. So this is what the DQ scanner, the resource is, DQ scanner resource name. And this is what the resource type you have to select. Informatica data quality is the resource type you need to select during the scanner, right? So, and the connection properties, right? And most of the things they extract, what to extract from the profile values. So rule, scorecard, profile, and value frequency, so that you can, these are all the checkbox. So user can select whichever is required, right? So, and moreover, you have to provide the domain details, by providing all the username, password, and then host details, port number, all this stuff. Finally, the profile values connection name. This is very much required, right? This is, during the scanner, you need to provide all the details. Then the metadata loads settings are, so this is one of the major thing, the profile schema connections, right? So when you select this one, it displays all the schemas in the profile values, which you have already done some sort of profiling in IDQ, right? So as of now, I selected one schema, that is Oracle schema. The other one, Hive, I have not selected, which is not required now, right? Then cumulative one is, this works on the, if you run, say, 3 columns today, and probably, profile results in IDQ, and then say another 3 columns if you run the profile for that in, suppose, a 1 day after that, right? So when you run it, so you will see only the latest results in the profile, right? So to avoid that, you need all the 6 columns profile results gets to associated to here, right? So you please select the cumulative one, so that it takes the latest from each of the tables, so that the profile results gets associated to that, right? And then auto accept percentage, this depends on what is the percentage is required. If it is 70% matching, then probably it says auto accepted. No need of curation is required, again manually, right? And then again, incrementally, suppose today you have run the full scan of it, and then tomorrow you have run some sort of profile ID in profile results. You are seeing it tomorrow. That could be for the other resources as well. The same profile resource, you are going to scan it here. So select the incremental. So only the latest one will get picked up and then associate to that. So that could be on the incremental, and then the extract only the rules applied on the profiles. Yeah. So this is to see what are the rules which are applied to the profile, right? So not required any other rules which are there in the domain itself, right? Then auto assign connection. So when you select the connections here, right? So when you click on this auto assign connections, the connections which are available in EDC, so gets associated automatically, no need of manual intervention. So for the demo purpose, I just let it blank, because I selected manually which source has to assign to that. Okay, so then once it is configured, then you say save it and then scan it. Okay, so scan again, it will take some time. So I will move to the catalog to show what would be the results after scanning. So I will select the one resource which I've created here, and I'll select the table. Say the customer is again the table. Okay, so this is where you can see, once you extract its only metadata, this everything will show a blank one actually. So now once the DQ scanner is run, so it associates these data domains and then this profile results, everything. Moreover, how do you say that this is extracted from here, right? So you will see a data quality, tab, so that you will make sure that this one is from profile data warehouse from the DQ scanner. It has extracted all these details to the EDC actually. So this tab, when you enter into this tab, right, data quality tab, which was created during this time, so it will show you the rules which were associated in the profile, okay, and the results of it, okay. So and then on what columns it was associated, and then it shows what are the scorecards which are created with the help of that profile, right? Currently, I have one which I'll open. So this will show you some sort of metric score groups, right? Everything it is going to display here itself, right? So and so you will see the relationship between the customer table and the scorecard, right? When you click on this customer table, then it will show everything, right? What are all the tables which are associated here? It will give you a list of things if it is the scorecards which are available to that, right? So, and one more thing, the relationship view, which we can see it here is, so this is the one which I was showing, giving an advantage in the advantage slide, right? So user can see what are all scorecards it's associated to this customer table, who are all the users out there, what are all the rules associated to that, the profile, and then what are all the data domains which are assigned to that particular customer table, right? So this is how the user can see in a single view itself. No need to go to analyst tool and then see the scorecards or the rules associated to that. So here itself, business user or any user can see the graphical picture of it, and then he can see and he can take some sort of decisions as well, right? So this is what which I would like to show you guys on how user can extract the profile or data domains from an IDQ to enterprise data catalog. Okay, so this result. So I am concluding this. So we'll go for any questions you guys have. Yeah. Anybody from any questions, guys?
Sachin, there is one question
Mm-hmm.
from Huseifa.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to integrate these results in Axon?
So Axon integration with IDQ results, right? So there is another process where Axon will directly connect to the profile results, which are there with the help of IDQ agent. So it directly fetches the results, the profile results or the scorecard results, from IDQ to Axon. So that is possible.
Okay. Thank you, Sachin. There were two other questions that were previously asked. I'll just call them out. Is it possible to connect to IDQ using EDC versus version 10.2.2 HF1SP2?
This one probably will get back to you guys. So because this is on the latest version of 10.4, we have demoed. So I'll check this version and then probably I'll get back to you guys. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Sachin. Another question from Robin. Can we import the metadata from source systems from IDQ into EDC?
No, that is not possible. So he has to extract using the scanner, which is available in the EDC. So the metadata scanner, you have to extract it from the EDC itself, not from IDQ. Yeah.
Okay, looks like we have answered most of the questions. We're open for more questions. Yeah, we got one from Roberta. Do you have to import results into EDC to see data quality results? In other words, does EDC do any data quality profiling?
Can you please repeat the question, Vrunda?
Yeah, sure. Do you have to import results into EDC to see data quality results? In other words, does EDC do any data quality profiling?
EDC does the profiling so that if you don't have the IDQ profile results, right? So in analyst or the developer using that, right? So if you don't have that, you can directly extract the profile results in EDC itself. During the scanner, he has to specify that checkbox saying that, extract the profile or the data domain discoveries, similarity, profiling, okay, and then even the business term association, each and everything during the EDC scan itself, he can select that and then he can get the results. That is possible in EDC.
Okay. Another question from Philip. Where can we find detailed steps on connecting EDC to the profile warehouse?
That is available in the documentation of Enterprise Data Catalog.
Okay.
If you search for the scanner, say either data quality scanner or Informatica data quality platform kind of thing, so that the documentation's available in the site itself.
Okay. And the question, is there a difference between the profiling done in EDC and the profiling done in IDQ?
No difference actually.
Okay. So we don't have more questions. We are open for more questions. Please post your questions in the Q&A box. Yeah, another question from Udit. Sachin, can we create rule-driven data domains in IDQ and allow tagging from them in EDC with establishment of this connection?
You can create data domains with the rule-based data domains in IDQ and then import it in EDC so that when you scan this, right, so it will also participate in association of the data domains in EDC when you are scanning it in EDC. If not, if you are scanned it or if you run the profile in IDQ, so that you can just run this DQ scanner so that whatever the customized one data domains also gets associated here. So only thing is, as I mentioned, so if it is in a different domain, so you have to get those data domains into the EDC data domains before you run the data quality scanner here. Yeah.
Okay. Another question from Molly. Can DQ rules be developed in EDC? If so, why use IDQ?
No, it is not possible to create any rules in EDC, so he has to go to IDQ itself.
Okay. And the question from Yuan. In EDC, if we saw a scorecard with some named users or stakeholders, are these read from Axon or are these specific to EDC?
These are all specific to EDC.
Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Yeah. Another question from Udit. Follow up to earlier question he has asked. Does the rule-based data domain need to be created in both IDQ and EDC, or can we just create it in IDQ and assume it will be created in EDC?
Yeah, so see, there is two different parts here. So if the domains are in split domains, say EDC domain is in one environment and then IDQ is in a different environment, right? So then only you have to export and then import it into the EDC domain when you run DQ scanner, so it gets associated. Otherwise, you will see some different results in EDC. So if it is in a single domain, both IDQ and as well as the EDC are in a single platform, then no need to import it anywhere. So once it creates, so it will be there in a single repository so that you can use it.
Okay. Another question from Parash. Can we automate the process in EDC for the data quality scanner?
Yeah, there is a scheduler concept so that he can do that.
Okay. Another question from Philip. How to bring the data preview and data provisioning UI options in EDC? Is this come automatically when we profile from IDQ?
No, that is a different concept altogether, actually. So that's not related to the data quality scanner, but I would like to, give some sort of answer to that, because the reason is this is very much a very good concept of having a preview to see the data as well as provisioning the data, right? So if a consumer requests that, so that a technical guy can select the data and then provide to the consumer with the help of this data provisioning. But this requires, additional license of IACS one and also the data integration license in the IACS, because the API calls the job which is there in the IACS and then gets executed. So that job is nothing but transferring the data from, say, Oracle to, say, if you are putting it to Amazon S3 location kind of thing, right? So that API will help to get the job done there and then get the results to EDC saying that the job is successful, so that the consumer can utilize that data for a specific time of if he is providing any restrictions on that. So otherwise, this is good actually. Yeah, nice question on the data provisioning one.
Okay, another question from Srinivas. Does LDO-based profiles and scorecards can be imported using DQ scanner?
Right, yes.
Another question. Does DQ scanner import the profiles of scorecard created based on flat file PDO?
Yeah, so this is, as of now, we do support the relational, tables. That is, like, Oracle or DB2 or SQL Server kind of thing, not for the flat files as of now. Probably there is a roadmap to get the flat files as well.
Okay. Another question from Bob. Is IDQ same as BDQ?
Yeah, it's almost similar. Only thing is when you are into big data management or right, so that is where the BDM we call it as. Otherwise, it's almost the same. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we have answered most of the questions. Please post questions you have in the Q&A box. We still have got time. Another question.
Mm-hmm.
This DQ scanner will work with Cloud DQ?
Mm-hmm. Cloud DQ. So this one also, I'll just confirm that. Yeah.
We'll get back to you, Venkata.
Yeah, we'll get back.
There is another question. Can you show us again how to create the DQ scanner object in EDC admin UI, please?
Yeah. So when you open a resource, new resource, say DQ scanner. I'll just give an example thing that, resource type as Informatica. So here you have to select Informatica data quality. Okay, this is from there you select all these things. So you can select that, and then it lists out all the details which you have to select. There you require rules, scorecard, profile or value frequencies. So once you provide all these details and then select the profile warehouse name here and then do a test connection. So then go to the the metadata settings. So which here I can show you, right? So in our thing which I've already created. So this is one metadata scanner, so that you will select, and then here it shows the list of schemas which were profiled. So you can select all the profile here. So then you provide all the details here. So, and if you need advanced properties, memory-wise, JVM option, track data source changes and all, you can provide, and then finally save it, and then there is an option to run here, so that scanner gets save and run. Scanner will get executed here. Yeah, these are all very simple steps. It's of step by step, which is available in the document itself.
Okay, thank you, Sachin. Please post your questions in the Q&A box. Also, feel free to share your feedbacks in the link we have shared in the chat and your suggestions for the future webinars. Another question, Sachin.
Mhm.
The domain discovery can be done in EDC or IDQ, or is it the same?
Yeah, so it can be done in ADC also and also in IDQ. So here, what we have shown is it was done before in IDQ, so no need to do it again in EDC. So that once it is curated there, you can just get the results, just by running DQ scanner here, so that the same thing gets associated to here. Yeah.
Okay. Another question from John. What did you say the incremental options is for?
Okay. So the incremental option is nothing but it's like now full load and then incremental one. Full load when you start the beginning, right? So you are going to extract all the results which are there in say the profile warehouse, right? So that's a full load, so that you extract entire thing. So probably when you extract it today in EDC, right, with the help of DQ scanner, so tomorrow there could be some schedulers in IDQ, so that you are getting some more resources, not only tomorrow, probably in going forward, say another 15 days or whatever it is. But if you have new resources, or if you have additional tables associated to the any schemas or kind of thing, right? So when you add it and when you run the profile in IDQ, so again those results has to reflect in EDC, right? So again you are going to run a DQ scanner in EDC, so that when you run the scanner again, it should not go to a full load. It should have to be an incremental load, so that what are the changes after that it has happened, right? Only those things it has to pick it up, and then it has to associate. Otherwise, see, you can go for a full load as well to extract entire thing, but it's like time consuming task. So better to go for incremental one when you are going for latest changes has to get reflected in EDC. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sachin. Please post your questions in the Q&A box. Yeah, another question from Parash. Can we scan multiple profiles at the same time?
Yes, it is possible. Only thing is you need to select those, the schemas, and then the DQ scanner will have the auto connection, so that it associates the profile results to the particular table. It can be done.
There was a question asked by Bob, IDQ same as BDQ or not? And now he has come up again asking if this provides a much nicer look than in EDC than in other places.
Sorry, what was that actually?
Bob has asked if BDQ is same as IDQ, and his follow-up question is that doesn't this provide a much nicer look in EDC than other places?
See, the BDQ and IDQ are are similar. Don't compare with the enterprise data catalog actually, right? So that confusion should not be there. I would request Bob to that IDQ and BDQ you will have the same, but again it's a big data management one, and then you will run it in native and then Hadoop mode, right? So otherwise don't compare with EDC tool with BDQ. So that's BDQ is for different one. Right? So that's for ETL purpose. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sachin. Another question from Philip. Going back to the question on the flat files, if I profile a flat file in IDQ, I will not be bringing in those results into EDC, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
As of now, flat file is not supported, only for the relational tables.
Another question from Philip. Is incremental option is like change summary of option to capture metadata changes?
Not the one incremental which user selects in email scanning the DQ scanner, right? So that is for the profile results changes happen at IDQ level, right? So that is the changes, like, after some time, when the new profile results has come into profile warehouse, so only those things has to extracted from a profile warehouse and then put it into EDC. Then that's where the incremental things comes into picture, not for the metadata. Again, if you have a metadata which was added, so that again you have to extract those metadata in EDC, then you can run the DQ scanner so that the results gets associated.
Okay. Let's wait for 2 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There's one question from Parash again, Sachin.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain on the auto assign function?
Yeah, the auto assign function is nothing but like, suppose when you have a profile created for, a different, say, relational DB, say Oracle or a SQL Server or a DB2 kind of thing. So in IDQ, so then when you extract, when you scan it in EDC, the metadata gets extracted from all those resources. When you are running a DQ scanner, right, you select all these schemas, say which is from DB2 or Oracle or from the SQL Server DBs, right? So when you select that, auto connections is nothing but EDC will, the scanned metadata which is there in EDC gets associated to the profile warehouse connection, which is again the schema name matches, right? So this is where auto connection happens in EDC so that the profile results gets associated to that. Okay, so that is how the auto connection works.
Okay, thank you, Sachin. Looks like we have answered most of the questions that came up in the Q&A, and we tried answering the ones that came in the chat also. We have also shared the links for sending your feedbacks and suggestions for the upcoming topics and webinars. Please put in your thoughts there. Hope everyone is safe and sound at this point. Stay safe. Thank you for joining this webinar. Thank you, Sachin, and all the panelists for spending some time with our customers for this webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for attending, guys. Yeah, thank you. Bye.